everyone, we will talk about shape of array in this video. So when I say shape of array, I mean two things. One is the dimension of array and another is how many elements are there in the dimension. So before moving any further, suggest I'll suggest us to follow one rule because I'll be saying these words, these terms a lot, and I don't want you guys to get confused. So, for example, here on the screen, I have this three-dimensional array in which the outermost or the one which contains the two-dimensional array, we'll say that to be a last array. Which and then moving forward, the inside one, the most inside one, which actually contains unidimensional array, we'll say it as first array. So this is something I'm going to say a lot, like last array, second last array, third last array, and this is what I mean when I say it. Anyway, rule is very simple. Also, you have any confusions in dimension in following up the dimension, array dimension, you can watch my previous video. I have attached the link somewhere here. Okay, so moving on, let's take the example. This example contains a two-dimensional array and we need to find out what is the shape of this array. Now we get the result as 2 comma 4. Now what this 2 comma 4 represents? Now since if I'll say how many elements are there in the tuple, we have two elements here, which means that this particular array is a two-dimensional array. So now let's again think that what is the last dimension here. So last dimension, the one which contains unidimensional array, that contains two elements, two unidimensional arrays. So we'll write 2, that 2 represents that only. In that unidimensional array, there are 4 elements each. So we'll say 4 elements. And now it must be, coming to your mind that what if instead of 4 elements, I have 4 elements, 5 elements, 6 elements in separate in unidimensional arrays. Now that can get a little confusing, but let me tell you there, we'll cover it. However, for a quick preview, I'll say that that is not going to be a two-dimensional array then. So suppose if we have different set of element number in each arrays, then that is not considered as a new dimension. So let's not get into that and we'll discuss about it a little later. Since we have seen this example, let's see one more example. This particular example is a little bit complicated compared to the previous one. Here we are dealing with four-dimensional array. Now you can see that this four-dimensional array contains only one three-dimensional array. So our outermost or our last level contains one element. Now as we enter inside this array, this three-dimensional array contains three separate two-dimensional arrays, right? So this two-dimensional array, we'll note this word, we'll keep it aside that two-dimensional array contains three elements and then we have this third last array and third last level which contains two elements. These elements are a final reach which is the unidimensional array. So each unidimensional array contains four elements. You can see it is uniform. You will not find any non-uniformity here, which is why we can clearly say that this is a 1, 3, 2, 4 shape if we'll talk about it, if we'll try to find that. However, when you'll write array.shape, you'll get this data. You'll get to know the result. But why we are dealing with it when we can easily get this? See, in future, if you are a person of ML or data science, you will have to modify your existing array in some way to get yourself to correct position, to get yourself to correct result. You'll have to do this data manipulation, intense data manipulation. In that case, you will want to have the correct array shape, and how you are fetching and how you're changing it, you should know it, that what it represents when it is written there or there. So that was the idea I wanted to give you. So now in this particular slide I am covering the fact which I just mentioned a little ago, in which I was referring to uneven elements. Here you'll see that we have this uneven unidimensional arrays, right? So in one of them there are 5 elements, in others there are 4 elements. So if from previous rule, if we'll start doing this, then last array contains 1 element, so 1 comma. The second last contains 3 elements, so 3 comma, and the third last contains 2 elements, which is also uniform, so 2 comma. But now as soon as we get to the unidimensional part, we see that there are either 4 elements or 5 elements, or we are not even sure that it can have some other element also, because now we are not we cannot trust this particular array in terms of element numbers, at least till unidimensional part. So we'll not include that, which makes it a 3-dimensional array. This is just I am giving you this idea is because I have faced this problem and I was all confused and I was not able to get to the error that what's actually going on. So this is a thing that you may face sometime. So when you have uneven number of elements, in that case you cannot accept that as one dimension. Okay, let's move on. So so here is the result. So when you'll do this in your Jupyter notebook, you'll see the result is going to be 1 comma 3 comma 2. I think I have covered a lot in this video. The shape, finding the shape of an array is really an important and yet interesting topic. So in next video I'll be talking about reshape. So that means that when we already have one shape of an array, suppose a unidimensional array we already have with bunch of elements, and we want to convert it into 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional array, how we'll do it. Stay tuned.